What's up, everybody? I'm David Hain. Welcome to the A2D from Addict to Disciple podcast. Today's episode is number 310, and it's entitled Remorse in Recovery. If you enjoy this podcast, please like, subscribe, follow, and share the link with your friends. If you'd like to get our curriculum, you can get the paperback or ebook of From Ashes to Destiny on Amazon. Again, today's episode is number 310, and it's entitled Remorse in Recovery, and it's a walkabout. We're going to be going on a walkabout in Remorse in Recovery Park. So here we are at the beginning of the park, and the first sign says, Remorse in recovery is a normal feeling early on. And it's actually a good thing because it shows mental and emotional shift from active addiction, where we've lived with no feeling, beyond all feeling, or numbing any feeling that tried to arise. Remorse often shows up as guilt and shame as we begin to realize that we hurt others, damaged ourselves and our reputation, and can often create a new stigma for us in recovery, the stigma of remorse. And this can fuel us to chase transformation, not just clean and sober. The starting point of developing new lifelong values can be working through your remorse in recovery. Join us as we walk down the path and read what everyone said in response to the questions on the signs. The first sign going down the path says, and it's an unknown quote, addiction, the disease that makes you too selfish to see the havoc you created or care about the people whose lives you've shattered. Sure, that's a tough one right up front. Let's see what guys wrote in the journal. First guy said, I was not only blind in my addiction, but totally oblivious. This was a huge area of denial for me. As family and friends said, wake up, can't you see what you're doing to your family? And I was just oblivious. I guess was too high all the time. Next guy wrote, my kids just needed a family, and I couldn't keep that together for them. All the birthdays I missed, all the promises I broke. That's the havoc I created and the remorse I'm dealing with. Next guy said, I didn't just miss birthdays. I stole my kids' Christmas presents from their mom's closet. And I stole them on Christmas Eve. I also stole my mom's engagement and wedding rings and sold them for less than a day's worth of drugs. I created such havoc amongst those who continued to try to love me and to try to give me second and third chances. I don't even know how to begin to make up for it. I can see the lives that I've shattered. Okay, let's go down the path to the next sign. And this is also an anonymous quote. My recovery must come first so that everything I love in life doesn't have to come last. Okay, before we open the journal, I think for me this is a good transition because the guys writing in the journal were talking about those lives they shattered, and they were all talking about loved ones and realizing that they put them last. So let's see what guys wrote in the journal at this one. First guy says, I'm starting to see why I'm here in rehab and why I've got to stay. I need to get myself right because I've kept everyone last while I was just chasing my high. The next guy wrote, the way I can show my family I've changed is to change, really change this time. I've broken that promise too many times. Next guy wrote, yes, my family keeps telling me actions speak louder than words. I guess they're sick and tired of hearing my words. It's time to show them action. The next guy wrote, I used up my last second chance from my family. It wasn't until my wife said, I never want to see you or hear from you again, that I began to know she might mean it this time. But it really hit home when she took out a protection from abuse order against me, kept me from seeing her or my children ever again. Wow. So these guys are getting deep into realizing that their recovery must come first so that everything and everyone they love in life doesn't have to stay last. Let's go down the path to the next sign. And it's another anonymous quote that says, "Recovery is not a race. You don't have to feel guilty if it takes you longer than you thought it would." So this one's really true also. I meet so many guys in the beginning of rehab who sign the paper that say they're going to stay the full 6, 9, or 12 months, but in reality, they're ready to leave in the first 60 days. So let's see what the guys wrote in the journal. First guy said, "That's me. I have 90 days clean, and today, if I'm honest, is only day one in thinking seriously about lifelong change. I ran the quick race to get clean and sober, but I agree recovery is not a race." Next guy wrote, "Yeah, I'm reminded of the tortoise and the hare story, and I'm realizing I need to be the tortoise. Slow and steady, keep moving. For too long, I've been the bragger and the show off, the hare running ahead, trying to be the star and saying, 'Look at me, look at me.' But I realized that that just led to relapse after relapse." Next guy wrote, "My best friend left the program early, OD'd, and died. My remorse is I think it should have been me. I'm the one who turned him on to drugs for the first time. And he's the one that invited me into the rehab to join him. And I think as we shared war stories, he got the itch to go back again, and it's all my fault." Next guy wrote, "Now I'm in recovery, and I realize the monster I was in my addiction. So much remorse. But I have no memory of that monster. I have no memory of what I actually did in monster mode. I've got to work with my counselor to understand all of that before I could even think of making amends or going back to my family." Okay, let's go down the path to the next sign. And this one says, "I am not defined by my relapses, but my decision to stay in recovery despite them." Anonymous. Let's see what the guys wrote in the journal on this one. "Yep, I relapsed, hit it, got caught, and kicked out of the rehab. But I went right to another rehab the same day. I know I need recovery. I just stop losing that knowing point when I'm in recovery. I need help." Next guy wrote, "My problem is always isolating when I begin to feel stronger. And isolation always results in my dipping and dabbing and ducking and dodging. It's the thoughts of dipping and dabbing first that I should be talking to people about, but I duck and dodge them. I pretend that the thoughts aren't there, but eventually I'm actually dipping and dabbing. It's classic avoidance and denial. How do I break the cycle?" Wow, guys really getting serious in this park today. Let's head out the park. As we get to the sign at the end of the park, it says, Brittany Burgunder, author and life coach, wrote, "Recovery is hard, regret is harder. Remember the challenges in getting clean and sober are common to all of us. Lean on the advice of guys who have more days clean than you. Work your program, but the burden of regret will kill you. It causes countless relapses and can result in a laissez-faire attitude about life and maybe even no desire to live. So find a good coach, counselor, mentor, sponsor, all of them, not just one. Be open and honest and learn how to conquer your consequences before they conquer you." Thanks for coming to Remorse and Recovery Park. and deal with your remorse so you can conquer your consequences. Thanks for listening to this episode of the A to D from Addict to Disciple podcast. If you are saying that's me as you listen, then I want to encourage you to reach out and join a group. You can message me in the link in this podcast or by email at davidfroma2d@gmail.com or go to my website, www.froma2d.org, and click on the contact page. Keep listening to future podcast episodes, and as always, stay safe and stay resilient.